Welcome to Above the Rest Outdoors. This week's show, we're hunting elk in Arizona. It's a tag that's taken me 7 years to draw. 7 years may sound like a long time to wait to draw an elk tag, but actually there's units in Arizona that can take sometimes 13, 14 years to draw. I put in for this unit because I got some buddies who live in Arizona. They told me, you put in for Unit 6B, we got some tremendous elk over there. May not kill as big a bulls as we'd kill in some of those other a little bit harder to draw areas, but we should do just fine killing a pretty good bull. So with Cameron and Scott doing some scouting for me, and I got 7 days cut out for this hunt, we should do just fine finding some big bulls. Now, these guys had a plan, but I need to stress, they had a plan. Plan was, let David run around, wear himself out in 2 or 3 days trying to call an elk in. It's the only way I've known to kill elk. I do it the hard way, I guess. But down in Arizona, it's supposed to be arid and dry. These guys are banking on some trail camera photos they got that after I get tired in 2 or 3 days, they're going to stick me on a ground blind, or in a ground blind, or up in a tree stand on one of these water holes, and I'm going to kill one of these big bulls that they've caught on some of their trail camera photos. Only problem with their plan? They forgot to tell God about their plan. When I stepped off the plane in Arizona, there was a thunderstorm just starting. I meet up with Cameron and Scott. They tell me, this is what we've been waiting for. It's been super hot, which in September in Arizona, that's kind of typical, but it had been extra hot, and it hadn't rained in 3 months. So they were glad to see a little bit of rain. Well, the rain continued all through the night, and even into the next morning. We're actually having thunderstorms rolling through at 6 and 7 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, but it's the first day. No worries. All right. Well, it doesn't get any more exciting than this. We're about to blow our first call of the first morning of the first time I've ever hunted Arizona. So I got my buddy Cameron Vaughn behind the camera this morning, and we're gonna see. He's been scouting for me for the last couple weeks. Seen a bunch of elk in here. Rained last night, so we're not sitting on a water hole or anything like that. But haven't heard anything this morning. The wind's blowing pretty hard. A storm went through last night, so just gonna have to wait and see. But we're getting ready to see if we can get an elk to answer us and hopefully come in. It's September 9th. It's the first day of the Arizona elk season, so this is beautiful in here. I am so fired up. Now, if I can just get an elk fired up, we'll see how it goes. Well, nobody has ever titled me as the smartest guy around. And I guess I should have been paying attention. When you blow your very first call in Arizona, and the very first thing that answers you is the heavens above with lightning like this, maybe you should have taken that as a sign and headed back to camp. Maybe it's not the smartest thing to be doing, standing on top of this thing, holding this up in the air with lightning striking over there. So Arizona has been in a drought for, I don't know, weeks, months. I show up yesterday and a monsoon rain has come. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. And look at this storm behind me. We can hear the thunder. We're watching lightning. We're just praying that it keeps going that way and that it doesn't come back over here, because we don't want to get wet. But we were hoping we might be able to hunt a water hole. But I think our water hole is going to turn into a river if it keeps doing this. So. But we're not giving up. Even though I'm already irritated at my hunting partner. He was supposed to have had this all figured out. We were supposed to be done 20 minutes ago, but that's what happens when you rely on friends, you know. It only goes so far. No, stick with us. This is going to get fun.
The hex on one and smoked him.
He really doesn't need to smell my hat, does he?
Hex Stealth Screen, scientifically changing the way hunters stay undetected.
If you're a hunter, you're part of a great legacy of conservation leadership. I'm Craig Morgan, and I'm inviting you to help me carry our legacy one step further. Join and support the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, a conservation unit for hunters and people who care about wildlife, wild places, and outdoor adventure. So join us. Here's how.
One low price, plain and simple always. It's the philosophy that sets our dealership apart. Hi, I'm Jared Gandard, owner of Kalispell Toyota. Our philosophy came from you. We listened to what you liked and disliked about buying a vehicle. You'll find our best price clearly displayed on every vehicle on our lot. No back and forth, no sales gimmicks. 18 or 80, good credit or not so good. You'll get the same best price up front, in writing, every day. Best price, another reason why Kalispell Toyota is #1 in Northwest Montana.
Independent tests confirm that the pins on a black gold are 20% brighter than the next brightest bow sight. So bright that we had to use photochromatic technology to dim the pins in bright light. In low light, while the pins on other bow sights are growing dim, the pins on a black gold sight are still perfectly bright. Be the last one out of the woods at night. Get a black gold sight.
When you have a hunting question, we have a solution. When you want to know when, where, or how. Most of all, why should you believe us? We make our living looking for your answers. AboveTheRestOutdoors.com. Above the Rest Outdoors is brought to you by these fine sponsors. And when we left, we were still on day one. And day one was Mother Nature trying to make up for 3 months of no rain. Day two we figured is going to be a little better. We didn't see as much rain, but we also didn't see any elk. Only thing we managed to call in was a coyote. I should have seen this as a sign also. Even the coyote wouldn't come close enough for me to get shot.
All right. End of day 2. Elk are winning. But we're gaining ground. We're hearing more bugles. They started about 5:30. We actually thought it was a hunter. It still may have been. But we did hear some real bulls and finally spotted one of them out here in this flat. We were just a little behind them because we waited. We waited because we thought they might come down where we were. But they didn't. They were coming up here to get a drink. I don't know how many's in that herd, but I'm guessing it's a pretty good herd.
Day 3 rolls around, and it looks like things are starting to pick up. Number 1, we've got a sunrise, which means no rain. Number 2, we have found a herd of elk, and we even got one that decides to come to our calls.
That's the last thing we need. We now have a spike bull barking like crazy at us. Got 2 hunters behind us. The chances of us killing anything, it's not looking good.
Well, for those of you that may not have hunted elk very often, when you have a spike barking like this one was, and you got 2 hunters just over your left shoulder, and they are following every move you make, trying to see where you're going and what you're doing, sometimes you just realize you're going to have to pick up and move to a new area. So we decided it's time to go. Time to find a whole new spot.
To get there, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to make a left, and then you're going to take 231. You're going to make a right on 538.
Yep.
And
right.
Then, dude, I'll get sick. You read it.
Yeah, give Matt. Mike's a.
I don't have my glasses.
Mike's a good.
Oh, listen to this crap. So now we got.
Holy cow! What are the chances?
Mike, you can navigate, buddy.
What are the chances of me killing an elk when he has no idea where he's going? He can't tell him where he's going, and he can't see where we're going. We're in serious trouble. And,
hold on, don't stop.
And I have no idea where we are, so this is really bad. Well, I don't know if these guys are going to be able to help me find an elk or not. They've taken me to a new area. Before we can get to the new area, we've already run into a four-wheeler, we've run into some hikers, and now we run into this guy.
Yeah, we ought to kill him. I hate snakes. I hate snakes.
Oh yeah, and did I mention they forgot to bring the map? I will say this, the new area they've taken me to and the hike that we've made brings us out on this beautiful big mesa. We are overlooking a huge bowl. We should be able to hear elk from anywhere up here. No elk from our big mesa. We start heading back. These guys were quizzing me a little bit about my calling techniques, and I had just finished telling them that I don't like calling and walking, because a lot of times when you do that, you'll walk up on elk that were responding to you that never made a sound. It's exactly what happened in this scenario. We had just made a few calls, but we were just kind of moving along, heading back toward our truck, and all of a sudden, we got a bull coming to us. Since it is only day 3, we decided to pass on this little guy. We're going to try to hold off for something a little bit better.
Alright, so it's day 4, Arizona. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it in the background, but this morning, unbelievable thunderstorms. I know I keep saying that, it sounds like it's over and over. We just repeat the same thing every day. But this time they were rolling through. First thing this morning, Cameron and I tried to come around to another spot to meet the other 2 guys that are in camp. They're north of us, and we're going to just kind of work toward each other. But we stopped here for a minute, and Cameron thinks he hears a bugle back here behind us. So we're going to head that way, see what we can find out. But it's beautiful in here. It's a beautiful morning now. It's starting to clear off. So maybe the thunderstorms kept the elk bedded for the last few hours, and they'll get up this morning and move. So let's go see if we can call one of these suckers in. I'm tired of playing games with them. Okay, so it's working. It's only 6:45. We just topped this hill. Didn't even blow a call. And 2 bulls were right in front of us, and they walked by. Never knew we were here, didn't care. So we're hoping they're the little guys around a bigger herd out here. So we're going to drop over in here and do some calling, hopefully find a bigger bull. That was cool. That was what you're looking for, is elk to just walk by.
Cameron and I don't move up 100 yards before we can see elk coming right at us. So we get set up real quick. Looks like the whole herd's going to walk right by us.
Why does the herd come out down there? When the first 4 cows came right to our left, I ranged them at, one time they were at 60. I mean, that's all the bull had to do was follow them and come on this side. And instead, the whole herd comes out over there. Why does that happen? Because God likes elk. So he sent them that way. Today was not that big boy's day to go. But that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Well, we thought we had it done. It wasn't until the main herd started to pass by about 150 yards below us that I realized, I don't know what's going on, but it isn't going to happen. And then 2 bulls break off and start coming toward us. And they're coming right to us. Now, we were hoping to kill a big bull or a pretty good bull on this hunt, but we're 4.5 days into this. We haven't had any encounters with any big bulls yet. So this bigger of the 2, I'm thinking, hey, if he gives us a good shot, we might take it. They walk up and lay down at 40 yards. What's this about? Well, we started this hunt with a sign from above. We should have taken that to know that, hey, this hunt is probably going to be a little harder than we imagined. Now we've been dealing with hunters, hikers, ATVs, and rain every day in Arizona. I don't know if it can get any more difficult. The elk have been walking around us, they've walked to us, and then laid down. They've smelled us and barked at us. We've had every obstacle you can think of going on. So I'm thinking the next 3 days have got to get better.
This is high-speed footage of the Ripcord Code Red and a competitor's fall-away arrow rest. Both fall as designed, but watch what happens to each launcher arm after fall-away. Ripcord's drop-dead brake stops any launcher bounce back, while the competitor's launcher arm bounces back up into the arrow. This will affect arrow flight and broadhead accuracy. Eliminate launcher bounce back with Ripcord Code Red, the #1 fall-away rest.
Sleep City's truckload mattress sale is on now through Labor Day. Hi, I'm Jennifer Hagan. Sleep City has teamed up with Beautyrest to bring in truckloads of premium mattresses. You'll find special rollback pricing. Mattresses are in stock and ready for immediate pickup or free delivery. Plus, get 2 free memory foam pillows with the purchase of a True Energy or Beautyrest Black mattress set. It's the truckload savings event through Labor Day only at Sleep City.
Sleep City.
I always took my quiver off.
I always took my quiver off.
I used to hunt with my quiver off.
Why do so many bow hunters detach their quivers? To avoid accuracy-affecting torque. Tight Spot is the first low-torque quiver. It fits tight to your bow, is extremely lightweight, and means virtually no torque.
Now, I hunt with my Tight Spot quiver on.
It acts as a stabilizer.
You'll shoot better with your Tight Spot quiver on than you ever did with your old quiver off.
Tight Spot, the quiver that fits tight to your bow.
Above the Rest Outdoors is brought to you by these fine sponsors. Okay, so when you guys are going on these out-of-state hunts, one thing you got to keep in mind is you need to make sure that your equipment is still working. You never know what the airlines or airports or whatever do. They don't treat your gear like you treat it. So, and then the other thing is you want to practice in the elements of what you're hunting. So we just set out an archery target here. I didn't put it very far, but I'm going to step over here. Biggest element I'm dealing with here, as you can see, it's raining. And they're calling for rain all week. So we'll see how this goes, but I just got to make sure my bow is still on. So that the viewers out there don't think that I'm a liar, I'll call this one before I shoot it. It'll be the top left dot. Well, as you can see, airport didn't do anything to my bow. So if I end up missing a big bull, I guess Cameron and Scott and all these guys will get to say those Montana guys just ain't all they're cracked up to be. We've finally found the situation we've been looking for. We have a lone bull. He's a pretty big bull, nice bull, one that I'd be super happy to shoot. He's bedded about 150 yards away. The wind is blowing from left to right, so it's not a factor as long as we can call him straight in. We've got our other buddy with us, Scott, who's going to be able to back up and do some calling. I really don't see how this one can go wrong. As soon as Scott gets behind us and makes a few calls, we see the bull get up and start our way. Now this bull's going to hang up, but he's not hung up because he's worried. He's down there raking a tree. So as long as he's interested like that and he's getting more and more excited, we'll just wait him out.
Raking a tree, try and motion to Scott to go that way.
Now, as this bull started to approach, I immediately realized he's heading toward the downwind side. So I'm in a panic, trying to motion to our caller behind us to move to our left so that the bull won't come to our right where the wind is blowing.
It's just, I don't know what to say.
That's a heartbreaker. Beautiful 6x6 bull. He's at 40 some yards. Should be kind of a slam dunk. He was in the wide open. I still haven't gotten to draw my bow though. Every time we think something is going to go right, something goes wrong. This bull got downwind of us and there was nothing we could do. We're halfway through the Arizona elk hunt. It's been tough without a doubt. You know, I was expecting I'd draw this special tag. I'm going to go down there and have opportunity after opportunity at 300-inch plus bulls. That's just not working out. Rain is making it a factor. We can't sit on a water hole. We've dealt with a lot of hunters, a lot of hikers, a lot of different factors that I guess I really wasn't anticipating. But next week you want to be here because it's still raining. We're still running into some obstacles, but the big bulls start showing up. So join us next week. See if I can finally fill this Arizona elk tag. And remember, if you're wondering how in the world could this many things go wrong on a hunt, or how could this many things go right for the elk, there's only one explanation. God likes elk.
Matthew shooters Lee and Tiffany Lakoski know that it takes years of hard work cultivating, planting, and managing quality food plots to produce the right hunting environment that attracts monster bucks.
With the helium, got my biggest buck to date on the ground. And that's why I shoot a Matthews.
Matthews, trusted by more serious hunters and professional archers.
And that's why we shoot a Matthews.
If you're a hunter, you're part of a great legacy of conservation leadership. I'm Craig Morgan, and I'm inviting you to help me carry our legacy one step further. Join and support the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, a conservation unit for hunters and people who care about wildlife, wild places, and outdoor adventure. So join us. Here's how.